Wow, wow, what another great opening. Every time I hear that theme music, I get excited, I get pumped up, I get ready to go.
Love it.
So, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome once again. This is another edition of Nothing But the Truth with
Brother Jamil.
and Sister Tisha. And we are back with you tonight for a continuation of the family get together. Now, you say
Get out.
summertime is a right time for the family get together. Let's get together.
Mm.
We're going to talk more about the special guests who are really not guests, and they're familiar to all of you who stay with us from week to week. So we're going to get right to the meat of the program. But first, before we begin, let us thank you. You could have been anywhere else on a Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 on the West Coast. But you could have been anywhere else tonight, but you chose to be with us, and we appreciate you for that. We're grateful and we ask you to do the things that Sister Tisha is going to tell you in just a moment what to do, how to support, how to become a part of the program, and how to keep things moving. So it's going to be the kind of progress that you're going to see right here. Let me turn it over to the hostess, the most beautiful hostess in the world. There she is, Sister Tisha.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We are so excited to be here, and of course, so excited to see you. And tune into the comments. Come on into the comment room. Leave a comment so we can engage. We want to fellowship. But before you do that, go over to our YouTube page. Make sure you're clicking on the YouTube and like, share, and subscribe. The page is Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Share the broadcast, and then go over to what is it, Facebook, and do the same thing. But on
Mhm.
Facebook, it's my page, Tisha Muhammad. We want you to like, share, and subscribe. All right, and then come on back.
All right. All right. So the ground rules have been laid. The progress is beginning to be made. The
Yeah,
die is cast, and we're ready to last. You see, I got bars, though. You
I
hear?
didn't.
You hear that? Oh no, you felt the flow. You
I
felt the
mean,
flow.
I
You
mean,
know, I don't know if he's out there in the audience watching tonight, but one of our fellow network colleagues at Closing the Gap Network is the Rockwell Radio Show with DJ
yeah.
Rockwell from Atlanta, Georgia. If he hears these bars, I guarantee you, he
You
will
know,
sit me in front of some major producer, and I will be on hip hop wax before you know it. Gonna leave that right there for y'all. I'm gonna leave it right
come
there.
on into the chat room, anybody. And
Yeah.
hey, look who's here. My mama's here. Hey,
Hey, what's good,
mom.
mom? How you doing? Good to see you. Always good to see. Hey, family, invite the mom. Well, here she is. There you go. As
Look how
if
she's
by
posing
magic.
in her picture. She's so
Yeah, well, there's
It's the
some
mom.
there's some
Yes,
diva-ishness
I
going on.
cannot with her. I cannot. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
All right,
Okay.
Dirty you are next. She's on next.
All right, so we're gonna make sure that we do the things
Girl.
that need to be done tonight. Let's give the mic over to my beloved co-host. I mean, we know each other professionally. We're like Lucy and Desi without the drama. Okay, all right. That's who we are.
Me?
But she's yeah, you babe, yeah, you.
Okay.
We yeah, we don't need the drama. But what we're going to do tonight is introduce our guests to you. You saw them here just a few weeks ago, and to bring them back before these cameras, I couldn't think of a better person than
Yeah.
Big Sis herself, Tisha.
All right. Well, welcome again. Welcome back. But remember, this time we're bringing back two exciting guests, two of my favorite people in the whole world, my first two besties. You've seen them, what, maybe just 2, 3 weeks ago? And we were telling some old time stories, some growing up stories. Well, we're going to keep it going because there were some more secrets that didn't come out. And we want to share
Oh,
that. But in the
oh,
meantime, we're going to continue to talk about parenting and family issues and all that good stuff. If we can stay on topic, we're going to try really hard to stay on topic. First up on the mic, I want to bring my little sister, my middle sister, my first bestie, Nikia Conley. Come through, Kia. Come through.
Come through, come through. There she is. Woo, woo. Good to see you, sister-in-law.
Hey, brother.
Dork. And then the next one we can't leave out. This is the one that broke the mold. Baby Sean, Shantae Turner, come through, Sean.
Sean, Sean. Good to see you.
Please, cookies.
There she is. There she is. Okay.
Hey, y'all.
All right.
Gilliam
And
girls are back.
yes, and you'll all notice, I'm telling you, as you tune in, you'll see that as they clap their hands, you notice they all clap them the same way and they all did it on the same beat. They're not in the same room, but they definitely have the same, well, they're great. Hey, Bree, there's Breon from Bree's house, Bree's place
Hey,
out there in Texas, Bree's Haven, and she's doing the great work out there in Texas. Good to see you, Sister Brianna. But you'll notice that these three women who I have the honor to share the screen with this evening are, yes, they're siblings by biology and genetics, but they are also kindred spirits in the desire for excellence, progress, and success for themselves, for their families, and for our communities. And you'll hear more about that a little later in the program. But if since I'm the brother, and I got a note from an anonymous person said, I don't know who it was, you are the world's luckiest brother-in-law. I don't know who sent it.
Yeah, it's true. That sounds about right.
Mhm. I can go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to. I don't. Okay, but since I am the world's luckiest brother-in-law, I have the opportunity to ask the question first, and
Okay.
then we'll turn it over to Station. Ladies, how is it? And I'm going to continue with what I was on our last time together. But how is it that you continue to stay so buoyant and upbeat in your spirit with so much going on in the world? Every time folks see you guys, they're always seeing a smiling face, an uplifting spirit, a kind word. What is it about you all that makes you that way? Because Tisha's that way too. But I'm just curious, what is it that makes you able to do that?
Medication. Yes,
Lots
lots
of
lots of medication.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And
yes.
we share the medication, but
We
don't
do.
tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. That's federal offense.
Before we came on the air, you all said that you would behave. You all
Okay.
said.
We are.
You know.
No? Okay.
I think it all stems from you have to want to find you want to have to find your own inner joy because nobody else can really make you happy. You have to find happiness for yourself. Someone can add to your happiness, but you want to truly look for happiness daily to walk around sad and down and depressed daily with your spirit heavy. That's a heavy thing to do. Nobody wants to walk the earth heavily, right?
Mm,
Nobody
mm,
is attracted to somebody who's always down and grumpy and what have you. I don't want that for myself. That's not a load or a cross that I want to carry. So I every day I choose to look for the best part of the planet earth, right? To for my energy to stay high. And when it's not because you every day you're not just on a high, but when things are heavy for me and sometimes it get heavy, then I go to myself. I pull away from people, not to bring other people down, but to center myself.
Yeah.
I get close with Allah again and ask him to help me get back to find that inner peace, that inner balance that I'm looking for. So to me, I
mm,
say it's an inner joy that you need to have for yourself and you need to seek for yourself and then you need to nourish and build for yourself. Somebody else can
mhm,
add to it, but it's on you.
Yeah.
mhm,
I
mhm,
can do the same thing. And when I get into that lull, I go into a little bubble, right?
Mhm.
And that's just my way of kind of getting my head where I need it to be able to get through what it is I need to get through. But I can tell you, regardless of what kind of day I'm having anywhere else, when I get on the phone with my sisters, like all of
Mhm.
that is just out of the water. And that's always something that I know in whatever I'm going through, I can always call them and they always will have my back to pick me up or get me out of that funk, right? So
Right.
it is about self having that for yourself, but it's also about having that support system behind you that you
mhm,
know at any point in time that you can call on them and they are there and they got your back, right? So I think it's a combination of both, like what you said, T. But
Right.
yeah.
And because we respect you, Kia, we don't talk about you until you hang up. Okay.
Well,
Then we call each other a
sometimes
friend.
when you don't know, it makes it better. But I know my inner gut tells me that they're talking about me, but you know, it's okay.
um,
Like,
Sean,
As
As
long
long
as
as
you
I
know.
know. As long as
Sean, would you like to take a stab at that answer?
I'm still going with medication. And no, real talk, real talk. I'm still going with like it's okay for you to seek help to balance yourself. I'm
Well,
serious.
that's true. That's
And you
true.
That's
have to
true.
know that about yourself and like your body, your emotions, it all is tied to your physical and whatnot. And so it is okay to talk to, like Kia said, talk to your family, your trusted confidants. And it's also okay to talk to somebody that's certified. Because if you try to hold all that stuff in
Mhm.
and don't eventually let it out, and you just try to portray happy and bubbly and all that stuff, that's a bomb. That pressure,
Mhm.
like a
yeah,
like a soda pop,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Is
yeah,
Mhm.
gonna explode eventually. And so you might need something to help level you out if there's a imbalance.
Mhm.
yeah.
So for real. But I think the big piece, like Tisha said, is and Kia, knowing yourself and then also what energy you want to put out
Come on.
because that's what you're going to 9 out of 10 receive. Y'all get those people that empath or not, you talk to them and you just be like,
It's just draining.
Thanks.
Mhm.
It's
you
God.
just
see,
draining.
you see that call and you be like, oh,
You know, not today.
I gotta get my mind right. I need a good 45 minutes and all that stuff. You don't want nobody to do that to you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so put out that good energy and whatnot. And then if you know you in a bad energy space, then just stay at home and burn some sage or something. Like,
Mm.
Mhm.
deal with that.
yeah.
Don't put it on somebody
You
else.
found somebody else.
Got you,
Hmm.
got you,
Mhm.
got you. You're listening to and viewing Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Tonight's guests are my family, who are also now, Tisha, they're your family too, but it's Nikia Connolly and Shantae Turner. These are my sister-in-laws, Sister Tisha's actual sisters. And so it's always a pleasure for us to get together. This earns me um, preferential treatment at all family get-togethers, cookouts, anything of that nature. I'm able to access baked goods and potato salad at will. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
there is a reason for me doing what we're doing tonight. You're going to hear later also about ways you can support the program going forward starting next week. So we're also excited about that. Yes, I dropped that in the middle of the discussion.
Mm.
Tish,
Yeah.
what's the next question you have for the family?
So I would say, what kind of okay, so us three growing up, we were really, really close, right? We didn't really keep secrets from each other. Maybe we did from mommy, but not from each other, what have you. We were our network, our bond. How did the kind of bond that we had growing up, how did it affect how you parented your children, if it did at any point? Was it important to you that your children be close and connected, or did it not really matter? Did you let them find their own way, or what did you do? How did you encourage the oneness that we had? Anyone? You didn't. Okay. All right. All right. I got it. Okay.
Is
So we're
that
all
for us?
out there on the
We're all
limb?
like,
Well,
Okay, never mind. Okay.
it was real special for me being a
Mhm.
part of the Gilliam Girls and growing up with like me and my three sisters to the point when I had children. Um, I wanted three, and in my mind, I was like, I want three girls. Like that's what I was used to. I'll say even so, I have two girls, and my youngest is a boy who my little JT. But when I was having JT, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with, I'm used to three girls and the connectedness of the girls and whatnot. And so Tisha, you're right. I really did want that for my kids
Yes.
and wanted to make sure that we can joke, we can poke fun, we can tell each other you came from a trash can, but make sure at the end of the day, right,
Mhm.
that they know I got your back.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen that. I've seen that happen among the three of you, and it's really an inspiration for me. How not only do you have your each other's back with regard to, if somebody needs a material thing. I mean, let's say for example, let's be hypothetical about it. Let's just say one of you might have been a coffee addict or something, or loves coffee, right? And so the other of you may have had, or one of the other two may have had access to great coffee
Yes.
and ships it, just so that whoever the coffee fiend is can have the coffee. But not only do you do that, but you guys support each other just at the end of days. I've seen you just as you decompress from your work days, speak with each other about issues in your workplaces. And we don't get into the particular names of the work environments that my
Mm-hmm.
family is in, but the women you're looking at on your screens are executives in highly placed positions with everyday names. And so they have to deal with stuff every day. But I love the fact that you all can connect with each other to show that support. Does that
Yeah.
make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are our safe spaces.
Right.
When
That's
we
true.
are going through anything. So we
Mhm.
joke a lot and we laugh, and yeah, we have a good time when we get together. But if I am going through a tough decision, I'm calling or texting these two. If I'm
Mhm.
trying to, whether it's with parenting,
Mhm.
if it's at work, if it's a big life decision, if it's just something that I'm grappling with, they're they're the first people that I call, to the point where, and several times until they pick up. You know what I mean? And it's like, like it's that important. It's that safe space, like he has said, and you need that. To me, I cherish that and hope my kids have the same.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And what's so funny is a lot of times we're so connected and we've been so connected that if somebody's feeling bad, if one is feeling bad, it's like a Gilliam girl check in, like Wonder
Yeah.
Twins unite. We just
Yeah.
know, we just start texting, you
Yeah.
good? You good? You good? And then we'll get on the three-way and just talk it out. Even if we're not good, maybe it's just somebody needed to
The
release.
feeling.
We'll just sit around and
Yeah.
we'll play. But what I was wanting to say is with my children, what I see in them and what I love is you wait, let me pivot. Remember when we was little, mommy would always say, like when we go outside or when we're doing something, she'd say, Tisha, you watch Kia, Kia, you watch
You
Sean,
watch
Sean, you
on.
watch Tisha.
Yeah.
Then so
Mhm.
everybody, she made it like a
Mhm.
circle. You watch this one, and so we're always
Mhm.
watching each other's back when we go. And then Sean was supposed to report whatever I did, but
Yeah. She was supposed to tell on
I don't
everybody.
remember that.
she was
Yeah.
supposed
Yeah.
to.
That was
Okay.
you.
She was expecting you to tell it, but anyway.
Mhm.
But she had us. She used to tell us that, and so I think we kind of ingrained that in our children to watch each other's back because my children and all of our children actually they actually enjoy each other's company. Like
They
they
do.
do so many things together and
Right.
they look out for each other and they make sure all of their siblings are included and their nieces and nephews and it's just a
Mhm.
beautiful thing to witness. I'm so proud whenever I see them. They plan their little trips and their vacations or even if it's just going out to eat, but it is all inclusive.
But
And
I
so
think
that,
it's
that
even
bond.
it's not just the siblings that have
Mhm,
that, right?
mhm,
Like I'm Tisha, agree with you 100%, right? They have to know that you always have your siblings back and they're always going to have your back. And you can have your outside friends, you can have what your siblings are your very first friend, your very first best friend, and they will always be your best friend, right? But even to see that amongst with their cousins,
mhm.
right? Something happens, it's, let's go, Conley crew together. We need to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this for whoever, Ashley, Buddha, whoever, right? And for them to just be like, yep, like not even think about it, second guess, like we're right there. Like that's just a great thing to see.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm proud of
True
my.
indeed, and true indeed, and it's not the kind of thing that you could take for granted. I'm glad to see how grateful you all are for that, because there are some folks, believe it or not, who are not best friends with their siblings.
Mhm,
There are folks who don't get along with their cousins, and there are fractures and broken
mhm,
relationships that people are enduring and going through right now. So beyond your immediate family, what would you say are the other institutions, organizations, friend circles that you've drawn strength from, and how do they mirror what you experienced growing up with the three of you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't
The
have any.
question?
The mental hospital.
no,
It
I
is.
was sitting there going, I don't know.
I don't have any.
What did you mean?
We don't
Like
have any.
other, no,
Like
no,
other groups and
No, we don't have any.
like
no,
other friend circle groups. I'm just
Oh,
curious.
so it's called the Gilliam Girl Group. Sometimes we call it the Sisterhood Organization.
Mm-hmm.
United States Unity of Gilliam Sisters. Those are the three that come to my
I
mind.
see. I see. Yes.
Were
Nationally
you
known.
wanting us to say you? Brother?
No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
no.
Certainly, but
Okay.
I'm quite sure where.
no, I
What?
couldn't. I
No,
couldn't do
explain
that.
the question because really,
I know what you're saying. Like, are there other organizations that we're involved in that kind of give us that additional support outside of the family
Yes,
organization?
and that mirror, and though with those organizations, how would they mirror what you learned growing up as sisters?
So
You know, because
I'm gonna answer you. I
Okay.
don't have any.
Yeah.
okay,
Oh,
okay, okay.
so I will say there are other close friendships that I may have, whether it be
Mhm.
from growing up, from college, or from other organizations that I'm active in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and they are very high on my list. Like if I'm, for fun and if I'm going to and whatnot, but they don't hold a candle to like, my sisters. It's like, okay, Tisha Kia, consult them, and then, consult my other best friends that are very close to my being sisters. And then some of those I call sisters.
Yeah.
And then, then everybody else. But yeah, I look for the same type of acceptance and love, like that I get from my sisters. Right.
Yeah. But I think Jamil, though, we're really trying to behave. And
Yeah.
so
I'm stuck on the answers. I'm like
struggling with this one here. I
Next
think
question.
to kind of along with your question, I wouldn't say, and Tisha and Sean, if I'm answering for you incorrectly, jump in, but I wouldn't say we kind of have that same bond with like an organization, so to speak. Yeah. But I would say like we have really close circles of friends that would then mirror the type of relationship we have to a point with our sisters. So for me, I wouldn't say like, I'm a member of whatever that kind of, aligns with that. But I do have a small circle of friends that I confide in, not as deep with my sisters, but that is kind of similar to that.
And every time she brings them up, I was talking with such and such, or when Tisha's like, I was talking with such and such, every time we're like,
you were. Yeah. And this is so crazy that you asked that, Jamil, because I'm sitting here going, I really was at a blank when you said that because I didn't join organizations. I was like, I don't need it. I got my sisters. And I have some, my girls, my sisters, and then I got my girls. But there's only a few. I got acquaintances and friends, but my dog, my girl, there's like 4. That's it. And my sisters. My circle is very small, but I'm welcoming to all. But that safe space I'm looking for is those 3 and just a select few on the outside, just a very select few. So I don't know why I've never really been into big organizations and this group and that group, and that just wasn't me.
Yeah, I really appreciate your answers because I wasn't so much looking for a particular organization or national group, even though I did learn tonight of the United States Syndicate of Sisterhood. Is that it, Kia?
I like that name. Yes.
Yes.
That's
Okay. And it's pronounced us. Okay. Just so you know.
Yes.
Okay. So I got that. But I think I'm looking to. I know this work that we do on this program is always to try to bring people together, to bring ideas together and foster working relationships that result in real benefit to the people who come here every Thursday night to join us. And so I love what your response, the response that your previous appearance on these airwaves gained was enormous. And people loved you because they loved their authenticity. I'm looking here on some of the comments, and Brother Jerry is saying they keep it 100. That is so good. Like when he looks in the YouTube comments and other places. So there are people who are just noticing how authentic and real you are, and I just think that's a wonderful quality. And if we had more of it in the circles of friends and the small organizations and the large organizations, and they were as committed to building sisterhood as you all have been blessed to be, then I think we'd be a lot further along. That's I guess what it is.
I think so.
People are looking for that. They're looking for like the real you, right? And not your representative, and for that vulnerability. And you can take that whatever spaces that you're in. I did join and am a member of some larger organizations, and I try to be the same, no matter where I'm at, right? There are protocols, there are guidelines and guardrails that you have to, be mindful of, but that doesn't mean that you have to completely, code switch or change who you are and put, again, that mask or that representative. So, because the real you is going to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to come out, and there's only so much that you can do to hide it. Eventually it'll come out. So they might as well get it at the front.
Right. And when you're not just authentically yourself in whatever you do, it's going to eat away at you too. In the corporate world, I had that time where I'm like, oh, I've got to be like, my leader, and I've got to do like, and it didn't work because that's not me. That's not how I work. That's not how I think. We both got to the same result, but we got there differently, and that's okay. Right. But you really do have to stay true to yourself.
Yeah, that's so important. And you have to own that and be unwavering. Let that be non-negotiable. I remember a conversation I had with one of my supervisors, and we were talking about, growing in leadership and moving up and all of this stuff. And I remember the supervisor manager making a comment about looking at other people that have been successful and what are the attributes that they do and the things that they do, and versus how I was doing. And I had in my mind a couple of people that I knew was on their high list. And it wasn't until, at this time I was older in age and more resonant in I guess who I am and being authentic, because a younger me wouldn't have said it, but I had to tell them, listen, I was like, if I have to act like them,
right,
who I am,
this ain't supposed to be.
I don't want the position.
Yeah,
I'll go somewhere else. I don't want to move up. And so there has to be some things, like you said, that are non-negotiable.
Yeah. That's interesting you say that, because I also had a leader tell me, when you go into a room, they should automatically know you're in charge, and you have to, have the posture and the this and the that, because I'm very much like this when I'm in a meet. Hey, I'm very, I am how I am with my personality, which can be just, haha, laugh all the time. And she wanted me to be very serious and all that. And I'm like, that's not me. Right. And so if that's how you want me to be, then this is not where I need to be.
Excellent points. Because if I guess they may have been trying to put you in a cookie cutter and make you a stamped out version of whatever went before you. But I respect that you resist their invitation for you to imitate, even as you settle on the best parts that you could emulate. Emulate behaviors and principles is good, but to imitate somebody else's personality is ridiculous. And we were just,
that must be a bum, because I'd be like, what? Do what? Show me the money. Run it. I'll do it. I have to do better. I'm going to do better. Thank you, girls. I missed the memo. I missed the memo.
We're going to have to have a session on that one. We're going to have to.
Next
show. You, Brother Jamil. Going to break for you.
I'm gonna invite us all to stand by for just a moment. We are reaching the bottom of the hour here on another edition of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We're going to break away for a couple of brief announcements. Then we'll come back and discuss more with some special emphasis on what you can do to be more successful while being you, like the Gilliam girls have done. How they've been successful being themselves. All right? So we'll be right back after these messages at the bottom of the hour.
Assalamualaikum, family.
Assalamualaikum.
What are we saying? What are we doing? Woo! Assalamualaikum, family. Assalamualaikum, family.
Assalamualaikum.
We want to thank you for taking the time to tune into Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil
and Sister Tisha. We thank you for every Thursday night joining us for appointment viewing. 8 p.m. Not 8 a.m.
PM. I'm going to come in on the PM.
8 p.m. Thursday nights by YouTube, by Facebook, by Instagram, by all the other means by which we can be seen. But we thank you, because without you, as a matter of fact, here the Manhattans, there's no me without you.
Always do that. Assalamualaikum.
There's no me.
You didn't say assalamualaikum. You didn't say assalamualaikum.
Oh, assalamualaikum.
I brought you here for a bit of bad news. Do Shaya.
Kia, you don't know that song.
Oh.
I don't know.
But
See,
I thank you. I thank you for the support. I need the support for my upcoming musical career.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you. I'll be the
That's
first to buy the 8-track.
The what?
The only.
The 8-track?
The 8-track.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
On activity.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
So we were being serious about
we're being serious. I don't know why this doesn't feel right. We're
I
talking
know,
about
I
being
feel like
ourselves,
I'm
and here we
really
are being
I
serious.
promise.
This is not right.
It's hurting my chest and everything.
It does hurt. I'm trying to talk.
All right.
Why are you doing this to me?
Well, do you have another question? Because I
think I saw a question. The question was, hey, no one ever told the waterbed story.
And before we get to the waterbed story, because that's going to take some time and we got to be focused, there was a comment I want us to revisit about sisterhood. And it's a serious, the comment was from Sister Jill. There it is.
okay.
Okay, I heard diminished. Are we supposed to read it out loud? Or read
You
it?
can. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Out loud, Dorcas.
Oh,
This is not church.
okay, wait, I'm really trying to read it. I heard the minister say our sisterhood is critically important, and these three have that important connection and relationship biologically, a bonus. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know the Emotions. You ever heard the singing group The Emotions? They a lot of big hit records in the 60s and 70s. But the Emotions are three, and were really four, but three at a time, sisters.
Okay.
And they had the sweetest harmony
Oh, really?
because they were the Emotions. They had hits like The Best of My Love and Flowers and I Don't Want to Lose Your Love and Show Me How. And
Lose your love. That one. I don't want to lose your love. That one.
yeah, yeah,
Oh.
that one.
I know that one.
That one.
We used to clean up to the house around it. Don't want to
Yeah.
lose your love.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. But they didn't do the Roxbury dance, like
Oh,
they didn't do that.
What's wrong with your head?
So yeah, but the Emotions had, and the Jones Girls had it, and the Mills Brothers have it, and Tavares, they all have it. These are groups of siblings rather, whose ears and hearts and minds are attuned with one another, and because they're so sharp in unison,
Uh-huh.
they perform great harmony, great music together. I think what you guys
Maybe
do
we
is
should
make
start a group.
lifestyle music. You make
We should
lifestyle
start a
music.
group.
All of his groups were from the 70s and before, Kia. I don't.
We can bring it back.
Okay.
Well, I don't know of the sibling groups now. I don't know.
Yeah, there aren't any.
Yeah, the harmony sibling groups, I don't know. And you
Yeah.
could throw the Delphonics in there because William and Wilbur, the brothers, the Hart brothers. There's something about when you sing with your family. And I'm saying that the
Hey,
music
Sandy.
you guys make.
Randy and Ray J.
Brandy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't really care.
Okay. Yeah.
Janet and Michael.
Who?
Who?
Janet Jackson and Michael
yeah.
Jackson. They did that duo.
They did do that. Okay.
Y'all remember when we you remember the pleasure principle dance?
Yes.
A pleasure. Pray that you can hold me down. I remember that was great stuff.
That was good stuff.
You might be onto something.
You
Yeah.
might be.
We should bring that back.
We should bring that back. We could do a real 5-minute clip. That could be like your new intro.
Well,
And Kia can put on those. You remember Kia's spray painted pants that was supposed to say "psych" across the
You know
back?
what? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
All typo.
Speaking of sisterhood and how friends can't
That
come
was not a
together.
typo. It was creative calligraphy.
So,
Yeah.
you remember, Brother
You don't have
Jamil,
to tell
you
us.
remember how spray paint, like you used to get the shirts and the sweatpants spray
Really, Sean?
painted?
Yeah. Yeah. You remember that?
And so Kia, this was when BBD was popular. And,
BBD
they had
and Poison.
Yeah.
So Kia's best friend,
Mhm.
decided,
What's
we're
the
not naming
name?
names,
Oh, sorry.
that they were going to get matching sweatpants suits.
Yes.
And
we
so they
did.
went and got them all made. And
It was really cute. We went to the mall.
she was so excited. And so
Yes.
she brings it. We're in the den, in the living room. And she was like, look at our sweatshirts. And so the front said, never trust a big butt and a smile.
Right. Yeah.
And when she turned around on the back, it was supposed to say psych,
Yeah.
It did.
but the S looked like a D.
And it said Dyke. Both of them together. Hilarious.
It was a cursive S,
No, it wasn't.
but he came up too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never saw you wear those pants.
No.
No, didn't wear them at that. You didn't
Well,
wear
here's
them.
the thing. I wasn't supposed to get anything put on the butt because Daddy didn't want anything
And
on
that's
the
what you
behind
did.
part. So it
See?
was already a sneak. And then the dang guy
Thank you,
didn't do
Mr.
it
Earl.
right.
Thank you, Mr. Earl. Thank you, sir.
It was still
All
cute.
right.
I think I have a picture of that somewhere.
I think of that every time I hear that song.
Poison. There was a whole dance. We had a whole dance and everything. That was the one and only time I was in the talent show.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm great. Now the chat is out of control. Everybody wants to hear the waterbed story.
Okay, who's gonna tell the waterbed story?
I was
I
so
don't
proud of
remember
my waterbed. Thought I was
Tisha.
really doing something.
Who-
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
wait, so you gotta
Tisha,
set it up. You
Yes.
gotta set it up.
who is the last
You
one
grew
to
up-
ever get rid of any trend.
Wait.
Ever possible.
Before that, kid. So we grew up in the longest that where we lived. We had 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
It was a 3-bedroom house. And the master bedroom.
Just moved to Texas.
Yep, master bedroom. And then no, we have been there for a minute, but we master bedroom and then the 2 bedrooms. And so whoever was the oldest got to have their own room.
Uh-huh.
So Key and I slept in the same room. You remember I had that Patrick Swayze? Oh,
Yes.
that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, no,
Dirty Dancing.
that's no story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then it fell on me one
Yes.
night. The tape, it got hot in Texas in the tape, and it fell on me in the middle of the night. I woke up
Yeah.
screaming.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's
Tisha had her own room. Okay, so now y'all can tell the story. We had to set it up.
I don't know the story because I really never learned the truth of how
So
it happened.
She had
'cause I
this
was at home.
waterbed,
Okay.
and it
I
was
don't know what
her
happened.
pride and joy. This waterbed. It was the motionless and the thing, and it was huge. It took up the whole room.
Mhm.
But Sean was in there for some reason,
Then she
And
shouldn't have been.
which she wasn't supposed to be, and she had a pencil.
I don't. How do you know you weren't there?
I didn't do it. And somehow,
didn't either.
Sean, you should be telling this story because you're the one that did it. You poked the hole.
Nobody knows who did it.
You poked the hole.
Nobody
in the
has
waterbed
admitted.
because you tried to cover it up with the towels and the
How you know it was me?
It was
There was no ring. Tisha could have done it. She
Who
could've
did it,
done
Daddy?
Well, I don't know.
George the ghost? Who did it? I don't know.
So
And
this
you're the
nut
only
poked
by
a hole in the
process of
waterbed.
elimination.
She poked a hole in the waterbed on the side, like on the little side thing. I don't know. I thought she thought she was hiding it, but you poke a hole with a pencil through a waterbed, the water's gonna come out.
Water
And then
everywhere.
she couldn't stop it, so she stuffs all of my covers under there or what have you.
I stand accused.
And I didn't know until I climbed in the bed that night. Had,
And
no,
she
had my
stuck to
Jerry
the
curl
bottom.
cap on and everything all ready for bed.
Wait, Jerry Curl. Wait. You said
Yeah,
Jerry Curl
I
and
see more than
waterbed in
my-
the same
And
sentence?
waterbed.
You said
It
Jerry
could
Curl and
have
waterbed.
been her. Anybody with a Jerry curl and a waterbed can't be trusted.
Climbed in the bed, juiced up my curl, climbed in the bed, turned on my homemade cassette, sneaking on the
Mixtape.
phone, climbed in the bed, and like I could feel the bottom, the wood part under the
wood
water
part.
bed. The water is just into my water. I had to get a regular bed. This is late at night too, Jamil. And
Those were
this
good.
girl
Those were
never
the good days.
I
It
don't
was
know what.
not. It was horrible. And she wants to. What was you, Sean? Like 8, 9?
It wasn't me. I don't know how old I was.
Mommy, who did the waterbed, mommy? It was Sean. Who else was
I
there?
would like
Anthony?
to.
You gonna blame Anthony?
I'd like to. No, don't
Tisha
blame
had
me,
a Jerry
cousin.
curl. It could have
But
been her.
but let me
Look,
let me
the
just
juice got in
revisit.
her
Let me
eyes.
revisit to make
Look at
sure for
Tisha's face.
historical context. The historical context. I want to make sure we have this clear. Is it true that this story contains a reference to a waterbed and a Jerry curl and a cassette player all in the
And
same
Hey,
story?
and not just
and
the
the
cassette player, the homemade cassette.
The
That
mixtape, yeah,
that
the
you,
homemade.
you listen to the radio and you push it real quick,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah,
have to stop
yeah.
it so you don't
Don't
get
DJ
the
don't say no
commercials.
words.
Don't
Mhm.
touch my stuff.
And then here's so bad, the cassette player would mess it up, so you had to take it out and get the pencil and
Of course,
rewind it.
of course.
Yeah, those were the days.
Now,
It was so
yes. I mean,
That was good days.
and when I remember when cassettes came in, they were
Mhm.
new
Yeah.
because before there was vinyl records and reel-to-reel tapes, but we'll
And
talk about that.
the eight
And then in
track.
my day,
You
we
don't
used
have
to
an 8-track
carve.
player?
Yeah, we used to carve the letters into stone with a hammer and chisel to
He
spell
played
out
too
what we
much.
wanted before we got in our chariot and rode to
Oh,
the
like
arena for
the
the
commandment,
gladiator
like
fights.
the
Yeah,
the
Oh,
commandment.
and back then, y'all, I was really fly. If I could just go back to the 80s,
Were
because
you?
back then, yeah.
You
So,
had the
because we were
gummy.
from New
Are
York,
you
so
talking
I
about?
went.
Are you talking about the goal?
Yeah,
Oh
I did
yeah,
have
with
the
the
gold in the
gold.
front like
You
Kwame.
did, like
I had a tail
Kwame.
in the back. At one
Kwame
point,
was the bomb, though.
asymmetrical. All of that with the Jerry curl
We
because
don't
it
have to talk
wasn't.
about Patrick Swayze.
That was Sean.
Yeah.
But I went to in New York because we were in Texas and nobody had it. So I had my cousins in New York get me. I had a name chain. I
She
had the
did
name
have the
earrings.
big
I had the name ring. Nobody
bamboo.
in Texas had
Oh,
that.
the Jenny from the
Don't
block for
forget
real.
the goal too.
The
Oh
gold
yeah, I
tooth.
was going. So the gold tooth, y'all. I came home
The
one time
what?
The
with this
gold
gold
tooth,
tooth.
baby. Don't
It was
mess
a
with my
nugget.
sister and her tooth. She was fly. What you
It was
talking
a
about?
nugget. Yeah, I have
She
one
used to
crooked
throw
tooth.
it away every other week though.
She
Shut
did.
up, hold
She
up.
did. It was
No,
nasty.
so this is what happened with the gold tooth. So I went to the Keats Bazaar and I didn't realize how unsafe this was at the time, but the little Chinese guys in the little
Yeah.
thing, you could just pick and choose which ones you want and try it on, pop
Try
it
it
in.
on.
That don't fit, take it out, and he put in the solution, you get another one.
Mhm.
Like that, right?
Mhm.
So came home with this gold tooth, and my mom about had a fit because she thought it was real.
Real.
Where did you get that from? And whatever. So I went to an all-white school. So the next day I
With a
told
Jerry curl and a gold tooth.
now,
And the
come
white.
on. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I was in the rap group, the Funky Fresh Females, but we'll talk. That's another story.
Funky
Yeah, so
Fresh.
I had to keep this up. So I went in with the gold tooth, and I was in class, speech and debate class. So we had to get up and say this little speech, right? So I'm in the front of the class, and all the white kids was already like, "She got that done." I was like, "Yeah, I went to the dentist. It was like 2,000. They put it on, and I paid a whole lot of money, and all of this stuff, right?" So I get up there to say my speech.
And
That
the thing
damn
fell
tooth popped out, flew across the floor in the front of the classroom, and they were like, "Oh my God!" All the back
See?
terrible. I ran over there and picked it up, kind of dusted it off to my.
Yeah.
My
Y'all
mom's
don't
gonna
come
be
for my
so
sister.
upset.
She
Yeah.
was the bomb. I rode that
Yeah.
tailcoat when I started high school. I walked into high school the girl because I was Tisha's little sister. I knew all the seniors. Yep, I know him. Yep, I know him.
Are you Tisha's little sister?
Yes, I am. I rode that. I sure did. Sure did.
I didn't get that
Sure
lucky.
did. Yeah, you
I
had to start over, Sean.
That gold tooth is what poked your waterbed.
You know what?
Popped out when you went to go put the cap on it, and it
Now
poked
we
your
know.
waterbed.
Now we know. Now we know the mystery is solved. And so
I had
It's
to,
the gold tooth.
yo, I really shouldn't have had it. I'm glad it didn't turn my tooth black. I had to take it off at lunchtime because the first day I left it on at lunch. I ordered my little salad because you have to be cute. You have to be a little girl eating salad, right? You have to be cute if you're gonna eat in the lunch line. And I went and bit the lettuce, and it dented my tooth. It popped off. And it was too much. So you had to really discreetly pop it off before you ate. Put it in your
Like
pocket.
Invisalign. Y'all like Invisalign.
But not the lettuce bent the gold tooth.
But I did it.
It
brother and
was
sister,
cheap. She
neighbor,
got
and
it from the
friend,
bazaar. Look, it wasn't even
well,
gold.
it was Keith's Bazaar. I mean, yeah.
It was parchment
neighbor
paper.
and friend, brother and sister, you are watching Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. It is our usual broadcast, but brought home, made familiar, and brought into the family circle, if you will. And these stories are somewhat alarming. I never knew about the gold tooth, and
Well,
Did she
this
tell
is
we
you
can't tell you all
did she
because
tell
she
you
has an
about
image
the
to
blue
uphold.
car? Wait, Kia,
and
remember when she saved up and she got that blue sports car?
Oh, don't talk about the blue sports car now. I was riding
Wait,
deep in that car.
did she tell you the story about when she put her name?
Oh,
Did she
okay,
tell-
stop.
So that was the little white car, the T1000, the sports car
She
Daddy
had,
bought me when I
she had,
graduated.
so
Oh,
you
the
know,
white
in the
car.
front of the car with the back, you used to have like kind
The
of like
vinyl. The
the
tint vinyl.
Where people put Honda on their
yeah,
car
you
or
could put the
whatever it
name.
is.
She had her
Yeah,
name
yeah.
I put
across
my
the
name, I
top of
put
the
Tisha.
windshield.
I had it made. Yeah.
Everyone
But
knew
did you
she was
tell her?
me.
Did you tell him the story about when you were hanging out in Oak Cliff?
No, I did.
Okay.
Oh, which one?
oh no,
When
there's
I
going
had
to
to
be a
take all my
part.
life.
Apparently, there will be a part three. Then,
He didn't tell you that?
hanging out in Oak Cliff. We're going to table that. Going to
You
go
ain't
to
have
the
sweets.
questions
That's
in the
not
chat.
appropriate.
Oh, there's a
We're gonna
question.
we're
Oh,
gonna
Oh,
gonna
there's a
go to the
question. Okay.
questions in the chat. Super Sam Clark
Super Sam.
is in the chat, and Super Sam Clark wants to ask you something, Tisha, to give us some bars. And don't. I didn't make this up. There it is, right there.
Oh,
Super Sam Clark says,
he hadn't
"Give
made it.
us
I get.
some bars."
do the
Can't do it right now.
supersonic song you used to always do.
I gotta get with Classy T, and she'll come back.
Boom, boom,
That was in
boom.
the 80s. I can't.
Supersonic. Go ahead, Tisha. Go ahead. Boom, boom.
I can't. I have a
Humala,
record.
humala, 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 humala,
I put
humala.
all that down. Oh, it's not hamala hamala.
Okay, so this is like that one period
I
of
knew it.
time
She
where
couldn't hold it back.
where MC
Yeah, that
Hammer
was
where
it.
MC Hammer said he was out of the game, but he really still had his skills.
Really
He
did.
could come back when he wanted to, but he said he was out of the game, right?
No.
Oh my goodness,
Oh, those were the days.
the stack
Those
is
were the
piling
days.
up, and so the file that I have here in my trusty laptop
Yeah.
now includes things like gold teeth, water beds,
Movable
Ask
ones.
her about Oak
Just one
Cliff.
tooth. Just one tooth.
Jerry curls, and hanging out in Oak Cliff. This is all right here in the record. And so we'll have to. Why are you smiling like that, Teach?
I was just
What's going on?
reminiscing. That was a great time. Yeah.
Brother Harold, thank you for checking on me, Brother Harold. Thank you, Brother Harold, for
Yeah.
your brotherhood and your
Oh,
concern. Brother Harold wants to know if I'm okay. Thank you, Brother Harold, because I
he's
love
trying
my
to hold
family.
the show together, but you know,
Yeah,
I know.
you know,
it's hard.
I think
it
this is
is.
why we're so close because they know stuff that mommy just didn't know. You know,
Oh, are we
parenting.
telling those stories?
No. This
Oh,
is
okay.
oh my God.
I
So wait.
thought maybe.
So the day when I moved out, mommy asked me all these questions, right? So now that you're moving out, um,
Mhm,
it's time for us to have that talk. I was like, what? And so
mhm,
I told her all these. Yeah, yeah, we don't need that
Yeah.
talk. That happened a long time ago. All this happened. She's like, when, how, what, who? And so
mhm,
don't be that parent that you just ask your child, are you doing such and such? And they say, no. And you go, okay, because you don't want to address it. Because that's what I did to mom.
Yeah.
By
Are
the
you
time
doing
she got to me, you wore her
Oh,
down. She didn't even ask.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
She told me.
She
She
ain't
told me.
asked me either.
She said,
You're like,
"Teacher, when
Like,
you
what's the
moved
point?
out," she said, "when you moved out, I had to go to therapy to learn how to parent the rest of these two because you." I was like,
Yeah.
I said, "Listen,
You paved the way.
I told you what you wanted to hear. You took the answer and you ran with it. So that's it." So I'm
Now,
sorry, guys, if y'all had it worse after that. But as parents, we
so
got to
so
Do better.
apparently not everything fits to a neat box. Then,
I
right?
mean,
There,
no, but you can't be scared to ask the hard questions. And
mm-hmm,
the answer you get might not be what you want to hear, but this is all
mm-hmm,
serious. You need to make sure you keep that line of communication with your teens open. Because I do
mm-hmm,
remember I went through a phase where I didn't feel like I could talk to my mom or my dad. So I talked to others,
To
right?
others.
Other adults at the time. But nowadays, children have the internet, the social media, the all kind of this group and that group, and you don't want your children to get the wrong answers.
mm-hmm,
Back then,
mm-hmm,
it was a little more. I was a little more shielded. It wasn't so many wrong answers I could get. I just went
mm-hmm,
places where I could do stuff where I wanted to do it, where I couldn't at home because mommy was very strict. You're not doing such
mm-hmm,
and such here and
mm-hmm.
here in this house.
But
Oh,
then
I just
that also but that also leads to an understanding that You go through those things because you're going to some other things, if that makes any sense. I don't think there's a teenager, an adolescent, a young person alive who has
Mm-hmm.
not made some bad decisions based
Mm-hmm.
on the fact that their frontal lobes aren't even closed until they turn
Mm-hmm.
25 in the first
Mm-hmm.
place.
Mm-hmm.
So they do things that are not intelligent. I'm saying this specifically to all of our grandchildren. I want
Mm-hmm.
all of you to lean in close to the television.
Mm-hmm.
All where's Destiny? All you lean in. You're not yet as intelligent as you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to make some mistakes, but your parents are safe places to
Right.
either prevent or correct those mistakes and still get the support and love that you need. Your
But I
parents
think
are
That's
not
right.
going to throw you away.
I
They're
would
not
agree.
going to throw you away.
I would agree with that, but I think as parents, you have to be able to um, know when to let them make certain mistakes
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
when to kind of back off of that, right? Because you can't be so much of a helicopter parent that they don't make any mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to go through what I went through, but
Mm-hmm.
there are some
Mhm.
things that they need to go through on their own, right?
And
They need
figure
to
out, right?
figure it out on their own, and but as long as they know that you're there, I'm back here, but I'm here if you need
Mhm.
me, right? And if you
Mhm.
have that relationship and with them, they'll come to you,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like,
But
well, it's an old school thing, like, because as my dad used to tell me, "Oh, you think you Roy Rogers? Huh, I'm gonna give you some rope. Go ahead.
yeah,
Oh,
Go
Yeah.
on, bump your head, boy." And
right.
my father would let me sometimes get a hickey here, one over
Mm-hmm.
here, and solve the problem on my own. I
yeah.
remember once I got in a little legal trouble as a 15-year-old, and I had to visit the local precinct.
Oh,
And
do tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So much better than
well,
okay.
Yes,
no,
we got to
we
hear
were
that.
just right. We decided we wanted to take a ride, but we didn't have a car. We were too young to have a license. But look, there's a car,
Mm.
and
Oh,
we
Tisha,
had
do you
seen.
remember when you did? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we had seen some things on television that allowed us to understand that maybe there's a way we could get this car started
Oh,
without
let's get
owning the particular keys.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
We got the car started and we rolled out from the District of Columbia way out into Maryland, Silver Spring, but on East West Highway we got pulled over, and upon their finding that we were not of a sufficient age to drive, we got a blistering talking to, but we also were, yes, Jeff, we were riding dirty. Okay, yes, we were. But we had to visit the precinct, and so when my father came to get us out, it was me and Larry, and
Larry.
that's Uptown.
Hi,
Yeah,
Larry.
Uptown Larry, and we were going, and I was afraid to leave the jail with my father. I was thinking about whether it was better for me to maintain some degree of residence there behind the bars and
Oh, wow.
locked
Probably
doors,
was.
Probably was.
or should I be released to this man who was standing in the lobby?
Right, right. You should have been with
Of,
downtown Larry, not up
That's
there.
what I was
yeah,
thinking.
yeah,
Should
Yeah,
have been.
where was
yeah, yeah.
downtown
You
Larry?
was in the
Don't
wrong
tell
with
her
the
that.
wrong Larry.
I was
Good.
doing it the
Oh,
wrong
You
way.
went the wrong
And
way.
who is
but
this
my
Larry
father was
person?
so he was
Where is
so
he at?
wise. He was wise, like you're saying you should be, because what he did, Kia, was the same. He put me in the car. I sat by the door with my hand on the latch,
Right,
just
ready
in
to jump.
case when it broke out, I was gonna roll out onto the street
Oh, Tisha,
and
like you
roll
did down
down.
the hill. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sorry.
so
I was,
you did.
Oh,
yeah. But he never touched me. He dealt with my mind, and so he controlled it. I see your progressive parenting, all of the three of you.
Mhm.
Knowing your children. These are my nieces and nephews. I'm seeing them grow and develop. I'm seeing them come up.
I have a
Yes.
I
question.
think,
What happened to Larry?
yeah, where is that? Where the
Now,
Well, Larry has gone on to glory now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Did he get
oh,
out though? Did he get out of the
He,
precinct?
Did he stay?
he did. His
Oh,
father almost broke his freaking neck. All
oh,
Oh.
right.
poor Larry.
Uh his father's still around. His father's hands are still like this.
Oh,
But I was like,
Oh.
Larry,
but
I can't help you.
that's an interesting story though, because I have a story because we're almost can't go over. But my dad did a similar thing with me. Remember the house in the front of the car through the
Oh,
when
I
house?
you drove the
remember
car,
that.
Um,
when you
and
drove the car through the front? Window?
What?
Yeah.
Will we have bay windows?
Yeah.
Now we have bay windows. So two folds to the story.
Okay.
I did it because I wanted to help mommy out because she always wanted bay windows. And so I figured
Oh,
let's
gee.
let
Oh,
insure.
God.
Okay.
I'll
That's
let insurance do that.
Okay.
let's let insurance pay for it. But I thought I was really gonna be like in like crazy trouble, right?
Yeah.
But Daddy didn't. He kind of yelled from a distance, but then that was like it.
He yelled in person. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. Tell the whole story, Kia.
But he didn't like snatch me up. You know what I mean? Like
Anthony-
I literally ran a car through the house. Like
She did.
She
you would
ran
think
the car
that.
through your house.
These stories are priceless, and I'm telling you, I'm looking in the chat right now.
No.
If you all don't come back for a recurring segment, I'm gonna get hurt. And here now, next level, y'all know cornbread. That's cornbread.
Yeah.
Cornbread in the chat. He said if it was him, he was gonna stay in jail. He
Yeah.
said, and also Larry is an in trouble name.
That's right.
Like
It really is. I wouldn't
if
hung
It
with
really is.
like if you're a dude named Larry, you stay in some stuff.
Larry,
Anyway.
love. La, 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 la,
Larry.
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 Yeah.
No, that's not 3 times. You're not doing 3 times dope, are you? You couldn't be doing that.
La, 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 la.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Brothers and sisters, I'm going to turn it over to Tisha Muhammad because this is I've got and
tell
I,
that story next
What
everything's
is in
here.
your hand?
Everything's
a
here.
string I found. Sorry. Focus.
Everything's here.
Is it a piece of hair?
She's getting old. Look, she's getting old.
Just rubber, imaginary hair. There's a piece of string. I'm sitting here just reminiscing. I really want to go back to the 80s. I can't wait for the Jerry curl to come back.
It's not.
It's called a Gina curl.
Everybody's but it's not greasy. It's kind of dry and curl. I don't want that.
Just throw some water and some grease. You can make it greasy.
That's true. You do have good hair.
Like Church's chicken.
You don't have good. Well, you don't have to tell me about
The
it.
water sits on the top of my hair like duck feathers. It doesn't even go down. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
All right, friends, we're almost to the end. And we want to thank
Alright,
you.
my friends. It's
my turn, Kia.
Okay, sorry.
We want to thank you for joining us for another episode of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha.
And Sister Kia.
Oh my God. And I want to thank you for my sisters coming on, Kia and Sean. Thank you. Thank you.
Why are we talking like
guys
that?
to come. Sorry, I thought I was in South Grand Prairie again. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
We want you to tune in again this same time. I can't get out of it now. It keeps coming back. We want you to tune in again this same time next week, Thursday, to Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Don't forget to go to our YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe. Help us expand this platform. Then run right over to our Facebook page and do the same. Tune into our partners. Who is it? DJ Rockwell and Closing the Gap. Okay.
Closing the Gap Network. Yes.
Yes. All right, take it away, Hamida. I'm stuck
Well,
in the 80s.
As always, it's been our pleasure to be with you. It's been an honor to receive our guests, and it's always a great privilege of ours to see you in the chat, commenting, becoming involved. This is an interactive gathering of real weirdos, and I want to say that tonight how much we appreciate. Listen. May Allah bless you one and all. We'll see you back here next week, Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, and 5 on the West Coast. I love my sisters-in-law. I just don't. Peace. See y'all next week.